Alright. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kahalalim, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Harakakadash, Barakatan. To honors to the elders and apostles of Green Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. It's a little brother here, Shema Shawan, and a quick video. If I didn't say that was the elders and apostles of Green Millstone, I think I said that already, but I want to go into the New Year's according to the Bible. What is the first day of the month? And explain how it's completely contrary to what America puts out as the New Year. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover holy unto the Lord thy power, because the Passover starts at the 14th day of the first month of Abib. From the month of Abib, the Lord thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. And we should already know about the Passover celebration and the importance of it. The Most High bringing the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, out of the hand of those disgusting, inferior Africans, man, those dirty, filthy Africans. Alright, so this is Abib. Now, we should already know that Abib is not the proper pronunciation. This is the Yiddish pronunciation. But if you would break it down, the Paleo-Hebrew pronunciation, the real Hebrew, because Yiddish didn't come about until the 10th century, you get Abayab. So, Abayab. Alright, and I don't really know the ins and outs of it right now. I mean, there's only so much I can do in a day, but yeah, I talked to the brother Reuben, and he broke it down for me. It's Abayab, fresh young barley ears, barley, month of ear forming, of greening of crop, of growing green, Abib, Abayab, month of Exodus and Passover, March or April. Alright, and another name for this month is Nisan, which that's not the correct pronunciation either, but you can look that up in the Paleo Hebrew. It's written in the book of Esther and Nehemiah. You'll see the word Nisan. Which that comes from Babylonian, according to the concordance here, from the Babylonian word Nisanu, which that's not, I doubt it's the proper way, proper pronunciation, but whatever. And what was I going to say about Nisan? It just means their flight, alright, because that's the month of Exodus, of us leaving, and Most High bringing us out from the land of Egypt, alright. This is what it means, their flight. Alright. And it makes sense too, because that's why we eat the unleavened bread. We didn't have the time to put leaven in it. And while you have the lamb without spices, you have your shoes on when you eat, your garment on while you eat, like you're getting ready to go. Brothers put on their jackets and shoes and shirts on. Alright, they eat it in haste also. Because back then it wasn't a meal that we were able to enjoy. It was just something that we scarfed down and ran. Alright, because the Most High ordered us to. Alright, and he brought us out from there. Alright, firstly through Moses and Aaron. This is the book. Well, not the book, but it's just a little thing on spring, right? Why do flowers bloom in spring? Leaves breathe in air, take in sunlight, and use water from the roots to make food for the plant. Photosynthesis, light, production, use light to create energy and shit, light to create food. But this process also requires energy. In this instance, is light energy provided by the sun. Therefore, the more sunlight there is, the more food the plant is able to produce. The more food it has, the more the plant grows. Because the days get longer in the spring, because it depends on where you are. Like you're like under some kind of solstice. It's like it depends on where the earth is in alignment with the sun. Is whether the earth is in its cycle. Where you'll get that sunlight. It's called the solstice. I don't want to get too deep into it. But there's more daylight. Of course, depending on where you are. The more food it has, the more the plant grows. Because the days get longer in spring, the plant is exposed to more sunlight in these months. This means the plant grows more quickly than in winter when it's darker and there's less sunlight in winter, because once again, depending on where you are, you get less sunlight, because the earth rotates and also moves around also. Well, yeah, it rotates around the sun, as we should already know that one. The springtime increase in temperature also causes an increase in growth. Like all biological activity, plant growth speeds up with heat, provided it does not become too hot. The rising temperature at this time of the year means that plants grow more quickly and seeds germinate. Now bring on some warmer weather, so plants grow more quickly, and I don't really know what germination means. I think that's when like plants get ready to like grow, mature. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really hip to the whole plant thing, but plants grow. All right, and this is just a little photo, of springtime. You see you got green grass, the trees are growing, and you got the birds and shit. These are romanticized. Most people are not gonna live here. All right, you go down to the inner city. The inner city doesn't look like this, not one fucking bit. But Esau. This is one of the blasphemies of Esau. He's changed this. It makes sense. It's beautiful out the way the Most High set it up, but Esau has exalted himself, as the Most High, is trying to exalt himself as the Most High, as the God of this world. And he's told the people and changed up times and made it seem like the New Year is in January. And we're going to prove that with a quick scripture. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 27, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. All right? And who is this he that's being talked about? That fourth beast, that fourth kingdom upon earth. All right. When you read in verse 23, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth. All right, we know that the fourth beast is Rome, okay, but came back as America. America is the reincarnation of Rome, and there's too many scriptures to bring out. The beast that was, yet is, but is not. That's in the book of Revelation. When you read here, it shall devour the whole earth. Rome never devoured the whole earth. Now Rome had much of the known world under its heel, but ancient Rome never. Those Edomite Romans never devoured the whole earth. All right. But America did. America has military bases damn near in every single corner of this damn planet, and he owns everything. All right, there's McDonald's, there's Americanization all across the world. They've got what they wanted. All right, there's Americanization all across the world. Every single nation on this planet looks to America for business. All right. But back into it. This is the book of Daniel, 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And those great words against the Most High is those wine, man. Babylon's wine, that he calls the nations, the kings of the earth to drink. Which is also in the book of Revelation. I think, so many. But I go-to for me is Revelation chapter 14. Verse 8 through 10. I like that chapter. But you know what I mean? Slack you. Yeah, but that's just what it's going into. His philosophies, his agendas. That you should just be a backdoor bandit. I was thinking of the right word. That woman on woman action, men changing their genders. I showed you other stuff, the Kinsey scale, that you're not entirely a butt bandit, that you're like 1/10 butt bandit, and you can still be straight at the same time. It's nonsense. We already know what the deal is. This country pushes out an idea that you can be whatever you want. And that goes back to Aleister Crowley, do what thou wilt philosophy, which that goes back to those dirty, stinking Hamites, and heathen nations. That's the way they see things. They have no customs. They have no I mean, they have customs, like they have no discipline. The scriptures, you gotta. It's just too much, but these people out here, they do anything, man. You got fathers sleeping with their daughters, uncles sleeping with their fucking kids and shit. Which it's like that's not exactly off, but you got uncles sleeping with nephews. You got uncle with nieces, not exactly off, but I mean, this government says it's off. That's another thing. They changed the way marriages are held. All right, cousins, if I'm correct, cousins in the scripture, that's a lawful marriage, but down here in America, it's not. I believe uncle and niece marriage is lawful according to the scriptures, but in America, it's not. I mean, shit, multiple wives. That you can only have one wife down here in America, I believe. Polygamy is illegal, like having multiple wives and married to multiple. That'll get you locked up. But hey, I mean, that's shit. I kind of went longer than I had to, but that's just the point. I show we're out the saints of the Most High, and how's Esau worn out the saints of the Most High. All right, the Israelites. All right, let's look at that word saint real quick. I don't want to get too deep into it, but holy, separate. I just wanted to look at it again. Saint means separate, so it's separate people. All right, mainly starting with us. All right, I don't have to talk about that number, the whole elect. All right, they wearing us out, They don't let us sleep. We're living in these crowded cities, these metropolitan cities. We don't really get much sleep. We're lucky. It's a blessing to have 8 hours of sleep. We're when you're born, you got a birth certificate. That's just you're like a stamp. That's a receipt, man. You're a product to them. All right, you have to go out and get these jobs and work for your enemies. All right, you gotta play nice with these people. You can't speak your mind down here. Etc. etc. I think to change times and laws, okay, which as we said, change times and laws. All right, and what's going into it is when spring comes in. All right, and how Esau, he says that the new year is January, which that's going off, and that came from heathen. That's a heathen custom. If Esau is so righteous, then why is he performing a heathen custom? Why does he even use the January? All right, and we're gonna prove that January comes from a heathen false idol. All right, but I'll read it at the end, and then we'll jump back. And then he should be given to his hand to a time and times and the dividing a time. All right, and that's the time that we're living in now. We're still in Esau's hand. We're still in America's hand. America and the EU, NATO and the EU, which are those 10 horns, those 10 kings. All right, which is just a number of completion. It's a number of kings. All right, which Rome literally had, like 10 allies back then. Nations that they took over, Japhetic European nations, they took over and started their own people to rule. To a time and dividing a time. So, that's the time we're living in now. We're under these devils for the time being. However, we know the prophecy, in Genesis chapter 25, or whichever one it is, the elder shall serve the younger. And who came out first? Esau came out first. So Esau is going to serve us at the end of the day until that 1,000-year period is over, and then he's going to be destroyed. Obadiah 1:18. But it looks like Kadash. No, it looks like Yah. I'm not gonna try it. But Janus. So Janus, in ancient Roman religion and myth, Janus is not religion and myth. It's just a way of life. Religio means to bind, which in the Latin it'd be more like Janus or Janus, the so-called God of beginnings. gauge transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. And this is Japheth's dumb shit. Japheth came up with this dumbass shit, and it goes all the way back to Romulus. I don't want to get too far into it. Usually depicted as having two faces. It is commercially thought that the month of January is named for Janus, but according to ancient Roman farmers' almanacs, Juno was a tutelary deity of the month. So either it's Janus or Juno. Here's a picture of Japheth's dumb shit. But either one of these dumbass things is where it comes from. All right, and that's how Esau changes the times, man. I mean, we're using a calendar that goes with the sun in the scriptures. Order us to use the moon. We use the moon for times, which I don't know if that's another lesson in itself. Just the new moon, and how it sets in, and it's absolutely perfect the way it works. But we don't use the sun for holy days. All right, we don't use the sun for holy days. We don't use the sun for any of that dumb shit. Our calendar starts and it's different than Esau's calendar. Our calendar starts with Abayab in roughly around March or April. So that's just how they change the times, man. We already know the deal. He's a damn devil. He's a damn deceiver. Damn Diablos. Okay? And that's it. I made the point. They changed the times, and January is not the new year. Okay? New Year starts in spring when the plants grow again. In January, the plants are still dead. It means you're starting the year off on death. Okay? That's just a bunch of bullshit. Alright? The new month, the new year, alright, for the Israelites to start here. Alright, March or April. Okay? And you got the Passover, 14 days. Okay? And that's it. So, I want to say, yeah, that's all I got. And shalom.